Hello friends, it's Father Archer here, and welcome to your March Virtue video. The virtue that we're focusing on this month is the virtue of respect. Respect is when we treat all people according to their dignity, as being beloved sons and daughters of God, created in His image and likeness. The word respect comes from the Latin word respitere, which means to see. So I want to focus in this video on what it means to see people with their dignity. One of my favorite saints is Saint Francis of Assisi. Of course, when he lived, he left behind himself so many beautiful stories. He was the first one who made a nativity scene, bringing together a donkey and a cow and a young family, so that people from all over could imagine what it was like to see Jesus there at the nativity. There's also the famous stories of him speaking to the animals, and the animals would come just to be around him, because he gave off such a spirit of peace. But where it comes to respect is a little-known story, a practice that he had, that at times St. Francis of Assisi would see children shortly after they were baptized. And when he would see these children, these newly baptized babies, he would genuflect to them, because he would see so clearly that a little baby that had been baptized had the life of God dwelling inside of him or her. And so with the life of God, sanctifying grace is such a holy thing. And of course, a little baby can't sin. You can't sin until you're at the age of reason. And so next to the Eucharist, an infant who was baptized is the next holiest thing on earth. And so when St. Francis would see these little babies, these newly baptized babies, he would genuflect in front of them as a sign of reverence and respect for how God was dwelling inside of their souls. And so respect is an important virtue for all of us to live. And one place where it's especially important for us to live this virtue is when there's someone that we have a hard time getting along with. Of course, it's very easy to respect people who we love dearly and that we look up to. Perhaps our parents are people that we respect a little bit more easily because we know how deeply they love and care for us. But sometimes there's other people that we don't get along with. And when this is the case, of course we must look to Jesus. One of the greatest moments where Jesus showed the virtue of respect is when he was hanging upon the cross. As he hung there upon the cross, he looked out and he saw these soldiers who were the ones who were crucifying him. These were the same men who had just driven the nails through his hands and his feet. And they were laughing at him, and they had been the ones who had been hitting him and whipping him all along the way up Calvary. But Jesus, in this incredible moment, he pushes himself up, he draws in his breath, and he cries out, "Father, forgive them. They know not what they do." When he did this great act of forgiveness, he did so because of the respect that he had for these men. These men did not deserve his respect. In fact, they kind of deserved disrespect from him. But instead, he saw more deeply into them, and he saw that each one of these men who had crucified him was capable of being redeemed, was capable of receiving the grace that he was winning for him right in that moment. And so he looked upon these men, and he saw the dignity that they were not living up to, but that they were capable of growing into. And he cried out, "Father, forgive them. They know not what they do." And so when you're having a hard time showing respect to other people, go ahead and think of Jesus. Think of Jesus especially in his passion, when he showed that great love and respect, when there was every reason in the world that he could have shown disrespect for the people who are being so cruel to him, so that we can see the true dignity inside of every person. So my friends, for this week, for this month, your homework assignment is to see the dignity of all people. And perhaps when you go to pray each evening, you go ahead and think of who are the people who I have seen today, and how can I see the image of God reflected in each one of them. Stay close to Jesus this month. And my friends, until next time, may God bless you abundantly.